restorative class, we're going to start in a reclined butterfly. And you're going to want to stack something up, either blocks or perhaps another pillow or couch cushion so that your bolster's at an angle. And then you'll want something, a pillow or something underneath your knees and perhaps something underneath your legs. And we're going to come onto the mat. Scooch ourselves so that the back of the hips are on the bolster. Bring the feet together. Let the knees open wide. Bring whatever you're going to prop the legs with in close. And then you can draw the feet towards you, or you can let the diamond shape be bigger. That doesn't really matter so much. But what we want to allow is this opening from the front body. Now, we also want to make sure our head isn't hanging off the edge so that the chin is pointed towards the ceiling. So if you need to, you can stack, something else up behind the head so that the chin is pointing towards the chest. And then the last thing would be to prop up the arms a little bit. So you can have something under the head to give just enough lift to bring the chin towards the chest, and then draw the shoulder blades together and see if you want to bring a block or anything underneath the forearm and let the wrist hang off. So take your time to get here. We're going to be here a little while. Gather everything you need so you can just build yourself a little cocoon. And then once you're in the pose, just do a little body scan from the crown of the head down to the center of the mind's eye. And start noticing as you draw your attention down, if there's anything that you can relax or shift or change. So allowing the tongue to relax in the mouth, allowing the jaw to relax, even taking the jaw a little side to side. Checking that the chin is coming toward the chest and not pointing at the ceiling. And then breathe a big, deep breath into that upper lobe of the lungs, underneath the collarbones. Fill up that area between the collarbones, the shoulders, the neck. And then as you exhale, you can even lean on one side, tuck a shoulder blade down and under you a little bit more. Lean to the other side, tuck the shoulder blade down under you a little bit more. And as you do that, you might find that you're ready to tuck the pelvis a little bit more. So you could bring your knees back towards the ceiling, press into the feet, lift the pelvis, draw the pubic bone towards the belly button, and then set the pelvis back down, taking a little curve out of the lower back. And then when you're ready, bring the feet back together, open the knees wide. And then just settle in here. Make sure that your legs are propped as you continue to draw your attention down from the pelvis. Noticing if you need to direct your breath towards any place of tension in the hips. And then letting the legs relax into the shape, relax into the support so you're not hanging out in the connective tissue. You have some pillow or support under the legs. And then letting your attention draw all the way down the feet and the ankles, and just very gently pressing the big toes into each other. And then seeing if you can press the other 4 toes into each other. And then press all the toes into each other. And then just let yourself settle down into the shape. And then see if you can once again bring your awareness back to the feet. And very gently press the big toes into one another. And then press the 4 other toes, the little baby toes, into one another. And then press all the toes into one another. Let your awareness scan up from the feet to the legs, into the pelvis, and see if there's anything you want to adjust here. So perhaps something's started to release a little bit, and so you're ready to change just the slightest little tuck or readjustment. And then take a nice big belly breath. Let your awareness come up into the area of the heart, letting the collarbones relax towards the mat. Letting that area of the throat relax. Perhaps the chin can come even more towards the chest without effort. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the tongue. And then letting the eyeballs relax and sink back into the skull. Let your awareness rise up to the crown. And then on an exhale, letting any thoughts that are no longer necessary float up out of the top of the skull like a fountain, just releasing those thoughts that are no longer serving you. And then with your breath, perhaps you can start to visualize that connection to the crown through to your higher self. And letting that light and connection to your higher self shine down through the crown, back down as the eyes sink in. The tongue relaxes, the jaw relaxes, the throat relaxes. The heart opens on an inhale. And on an exhale, the collarbones widen and the shoulders sink towards the mat. And the belly fills on the next inhalation. And as you exhale, the pelvis gets heavier, the legs get heavier. And you draw your awareness back down into the feet. And in this place where we're grounded to earth, we're going to just gently press the toes into each other and release. Press the toes into each other and release. And then one more time. And release. And then go back to your breath, noticing this big, deep, expansive breaths and the effect that it's having on your physical sheath of your body. So as you inhale, the sense of expansiveness in front of the chest. And as you exhale, the sense of groundedness, releasing the gravity. We're just going to take 3 to 5 more big, deep breaths here. Just allowing your awareness to float between, just witnessing what's happening in the physical sheath in the body and the awareness of your breath. Let yourself have one more big, deep, full inhalation. Exhale completely, and then reach your hands down to the outside of the thighs. Use the arms to push the legs towards each other. Let the feet come back to the mat, spread the toes, and just take a breath in this sense of groundedness. Hold the hands onto the thighs. Give yourself a little sensory feedback, connecting to the feet, connecting to the legs. And then let the legs extend long on the mat. And just take a couple more breaths here. Now to come out of the pose, we're going to move towards the side. We're not going to try to sit straight up. We've relaxed that low back. So rather than bending there, we're going to lean into the arm on one side. You can bring the feet back, bend the knees, take out whatever prop is there, and then just sort of roll over off the bolster. Use the upper arm to press yourself up. Ah, hello. And then open yourself here. Seated pose. You can bring a block under the hips if you wish. And then take a moment, grab your tennis balls if you have them. We're going to bring the feet together once again. Now we're in a seated butterfly. So rock yourself a little bit back and forth, connect those sits bones to the mat. And then you can wrap your hands around the feet. We're going to just allow the legs to fall open here. Now, if the props underneath the legs help, then go ahead and grab those. And then we're just going to draw our heart towards our feet. So we're going to use the arms, draw ourselves down. The head and neck are going to stay in line with the rest of the spine. Perhaps you can bring your elbows onto your lower leg. And think about leading with the heart here. So the collarbones are smiling forward and just leading to bring the heart towards the feet. Take another full breath in, full breath out. And then go ahead and seat yourself back up. We'll take the legs wide and we can bring a block inside the left leg. We're just going to set our right elbow on the block, lift the left lift the left arm. I'm not mirroring you. And you can even take your head and hold it with the right hand. Now, if this doesn't feel fun or available, try bending the left knee and then bring the right elbow on. So we're opening up laterally, so facing forward, going for this nice opening underneath the armpit and the ribs. And then again, connecting to the breath, noticing as you inhale, you can really access that area to open up. And as you exhale, reaching more towards the foot. And we're going to take about 5 more breaths here. So get comfortable. If for any reason this upper arm doesn't feel great, you can always just bring that down and reach it behind you and keep moving into the shape. Take another big, deep, full breath in. See if you can reach a little bit more towards that foot. Full breath out. And then as if someone's pulling you up by your upper arm, we're just going to come back up out of it. Take the block inside the other leg. So if you're on the left side, you're going to set the left elbow there. You can set the left forearm. Reach up with the right hand and then reaching towards the left foot. You can take the weight of your head. Turn your chest open so you're not leaning down towards the floor, but opening up. Let the right hip stay grounded, the opposite hip stay grounded as you reach towards the foot. Let your next breath be even deeper, even longer. And then as if someone's pulling you up by your upper hand, draw yourself up. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and take the props off the mat. Find our tennis balls. And come to a bridge prep pose. We're gonna bring 2 tennis balls underneath the pelvis. So you're laying your back in a bridge prep pose. And we're gonna just rock and roll these tennis balls in this general area, staying off the low back, but staying on this area of the pelvis. So go ahead and find your way there if you're not already there. Once you find your bridge prep pose with the feet on the mat, go ahead and rock and roll your shoulders into each other. Let the chin come towards the chest and then press into the feet. Bring the balls anywhere along that back side of the pelvis, and then just gently start rolling out. So we're just gonna roll out and see what's there. Some places might feel tender. We don't need to go into those places at this moment. And then you can bring your hands either on the mat or to the lower rib cage. And just take some time here to notice what's going on. And start to distinguish which places feel good and juicy and which places feel tight and tender. We're going to find a place that feels good and juicy, the most comfortable one we can find, basically. Might be near an area that feels tight and tender. So we're going to go into a place where we can really allow ourselves to settle in. And then you can extend the legs long. So depending on your body and what you need today, it might be in towards the sacrum, it might be down towards the tailbone, it might be out towards the hip joint. Wherever you find it, just extend the legs long. Let the hands come to the bottom of the rib cage, tuck those shoulder blades in once again. If you need something under your head to bring the chin more towards the chest, just bring that small item underneath the head. And then allow the eyes to close off. And go back to the breath. And all we're doing is just staying aware of the breath and this noticing of the exchange between the prana, the breath, with life force energy, and the physical body. The sense as we inhale that the physical body expands, and as we exhale, we are supported and we can release into the support. And we'll take a body scan here from the crown of the head down through the center of the mind's eye, letting our physical eyes relax back into the skull. Relaxing the tongue, releasing the jaw. Letting the chin relax the direction of the chest. And the shoulder blades relax towards each other. And the front of the shoulders drip down towards the mat. On an inhale, feeling this expansiveness around the heart center, and on an exhale, just releasing the weight of the arms, the weight of the hands, the weight of the belly. And then we're going to take 3 more big breaths, directing our breath as if we're breathing down into the area where the balls is. So as if you could breathe a little spaciousness all the way down there and then release the body to gravity. 2 more big breaths like that. One more. And then we're going to go ahead and slide the feet back onto the mat, knees bent towards the ceiling, and then go ahead and remove the balls for a moment and let yourself find a fetal pose, bringing the knees towards the chest, rocking side to side. And then set the left foot on the mat. We're going to interlace the hands behind the right foot, right leg rather, right thigh, and send the foot up towards the ceiling. And just start by drawing a really small little circle with the big toe on the ceiling. And then take the circle the other direction. And then go ahead and point that toe towards the ceiling. Spread all the toes. Press into that edge of the range of movement. And then draw the toes back to flex the foot. Press it gently, gently, gently into the heel. And then with your own timing, go ahead and point the toes towards the ceiling. Really actively opening the toes, pressing into the edge, and then back towards the face. One more like that. And then take the toes, point them back towards the ceiling and draw a little circle. Take the circle the other direction. And then take any movement there that feels good. We're going to come into cobbler. So we're going to bend the right knee, open the right knee out to the right, and set the right lower leg bone just above the ankle down on the left thigh bone. And then start by pressing the right hand into the right thigh. Just press it away from you for a moment. Notice what happens. And then elephant walk that hand down a little lower on the right thigh. Press it away. And then down almost to the hip crease. And just press with the heel of your right hand into the femur bone. And then back up. Just walking the hand inside the right thigh, pressing it away. Now, that's your first option. You could just stay here and elephant walk your hand and give yourself a nice massage there along the spleen meridian. Or you can go a little deeper, reaching around the left thigh, bringing the whole leg contraption towards you. If you're doing this, you're going to gently flex the right foot so the right ankle is gently flexed and not sickling in. The right foot's not sickling, so the bones are stacked. And then you can start drawing that left thigh towards you. You can use the right elbow to keep the right thigh open. We're just gonna work within this range here, within our own range. But we're gonna allow our attention to start at the crown of the head and see that we're still relaxed in the face. The eyes are relaxed, the tongue is relaxed, the throat is relaxed, the chin is coming the direction towards the chest and not pointing towards the ceiling. The collarbones start to relax, the shoulders dripping down towards the mat. Take a big full breath into the belly. And as you exhale, perhaps you can use the strength of the arms to draw the left thigh towards you a little bit more deeply. And then just staying here, letting the body unwind and take any small little micro movements it wants to. See if we can find 5 more big deep breaths here. Last one. And we're going to gently, if you're holding the left thigh, gently release, let the foot come back to the mat. And then one more time, we're going to give ourselves a little elephant walk. So starting from the lowest point in the thigh bone, almost to the hip crease, pressing the heel of the right hand in, pushing the right thigh away from you. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Take a step up into the middle of the thigh bone. Press the hand into the thigh bone, push the leg away from you, full breath there. And then coming down well below the knee, the upper thigh bone, press the leg away from you. And then relax. Bring both knees towards the chest. Bring the hands on top of the kneecaps. And we're just going to row our own boat here. So draw the knees towards you, let them fall away from each other, and then come back together at the top and just make a little round. And then the next time the knees come towards you, pause there, rock and roll a little bit side to side, walk the hips out, and then come back to center with the tailbone even more released. And now we're going to push both knees away from us and then let them open wide and draw them back towards the chest together. And take a few more here, nice and slow. All right, and then set both feet back down. We're going to go ahead and interlace the hands behind the left thigh, point the left toes towards the ceiling. Depending what you did on the other side, you can keep the right foot on the mat or you can extend the right leg long. And then we'll start with just a little circle, the big toe on the ceiling. And then take the circle the other direction. And then pointing the toes towards the ceiling, really opening them wide, stretching into that edge. And then drawing the toes back the direction of the face, gently pressing into the heel. And then just taking it like that and really staying on that edge for a breath. Between pointing the toes at the ceiling and flexing the toes back towards the face. Taking one more here. Really pressing into the edge, pointing the toes towards the ceiling, spreading the toes wide. And then drawing the toes the direction of the face, gently pressing into the heel, spreading the toes. And then release the effort. Let the toes point at the ceiling and draw a little circle. And then a circle the other direction. All right. We're going to bend the right knee if it's extended. Bring the foot back on the floor. Bend the left knee and then bring that left ankle well across the right thigh bone. So taking the heel of the right hand, pressing the left leg gently away from you. And then walk the hand to the middle of the thigh bone, gently pressing it away from you. And then bring it down one more place. Find that place almost nearly to the hip crease. Press the heel of the left hand into the left thigh bone. Take a full breath in, full breath out. And then gently walk the hand back up. And you can stay there, just giving yourself a nice massage, or you could reach the hands around the right thigh, interlace the fingers, rock and roll a little bit till you're comfy in the low back, and then press the left elbow into the left thigh bone as you draw the right thigh towards you. Gently flex the left foot. You can use the left elbow to press the left thigh open or keep it open as you use the power of the arms to draw the right leg towards you. Taking any other adjustments to make yourself more comfortable, to let the body take any micro movements to unwind. And then letting your awareness come back to the crown of the head, releasing any thoughts that are no longer serving you. And then drawing in that light and connection to the higher self as you draw your awareness down into the center of the mind's eye, allowing the physical eyes to relax back in the skull. Checking that the tongue and jaw are relaxed, the throat is relaxed, and that the chin is relaxed towards the chest so that there's a nice lengthening on the back of the neck. Letting the collarbones open, allowing the shoulders to drip down towards the mat. And then relaxing down through the low back, the sacrum, the tailbone, as you continue to draw that right thigh towards you. Actively keeping the left leg flexed, perhaps pushing the elbow into the thigh. We'll find 5 more breaths here. So make sure you're staying in a range where the breath is not shortening. And then continue to just allow the body to relax into the shape. We're going to gently start to release the hold on the thigh, bring the right foot back to the mat. And now elephant walking our heel of the hand from the lowest point where the hip crease is. Pressing the thigh bone away from us, taking a full breath in, full breath out. And then walking the hand back up. Ending just below the knee. And then once again, coming back into our fetal pose, unwind the legs, rock and roll on the back, with the knees towards the chest. And this time we're going to make 2 circles in the same direction. So we're going to just draw the legs towards us, making 1 big circle. So the knees are moving together. You might connect to that little place in the back where you feel you might be moving around the sacral iliac joint here. Give yourself a little massage in the back of the pelvis. And then the next time the knees come towards the chest, pause there, rock and roll, walk the hips a little bit down towards the direction of the foot of the mat. Relax the tailbone. And then we'll take the knees the opposite direction. So still massaging out that sacroiliac joint. One more big circle. And then hug the knees towards the chest. From here, we're going to come into a happy baby. So you can take a really passive happy baby with your hands towards the ceiling and just grab the back of the ankles or even the back of the calves And just stay here. This is a really lovely way. You're just using the arms sort of as levers to open the hips and take the weight of the lower leg into the hands and upper arm bone, and then letting the bones and the weight of the legs push the hips open. If you have a little bit of energy to get out, you could take your peace fingers around the big toes or reach for the outside edge of the ankles and bring the knees towards the armpits, and then just have yourself a little play and happy baby. So you might want to, rather than taking that passive pose, be extending one leg long, or rolling around, or smiling and giggling. And just allow yourself a little relaxation or play, whatever you need right now. And then come back to center, rock and roll. Really check in with yourself that you've allowed some relaxation around the lower sphincters of the body, around the tailbone. And we're going to release everything back onto the floor. We're going to come into a banana shape, a crescent shape here. So you're going to scooch yourself over to the left side of the mat, find the center line, extend the feet away from the hands away from the feet. Take a nice big stretch here, widen out the fingers, widen out the toes, wiggle it out. And then we're going to walk the heels over towards the right as far as we can without taking the left hip off the mat. So the left hip stays grounded. We walk the feet over, and then we stack the left heel over the right, and it makes a little lock in the legs to hold the shape. Then we're going to just gently walk the hands or the wrists over towards the right. So the hips are towards the left, the crescent is coming towards the right. The heels are towards the right, the feet are towards the right. And then we're going to clasp onto the left wrist, draw ourselves a little deeper until we can feel on an in-breath this opening in the left armpit, the left side of the rib cage. And then you can just relax the hands. You don't have to keep pulling. Relax the, stack one palm inside the other. So you have this little lock on the hands, holding the shape in the upper body. You have a little lock on the heels, holding the shape in the lower body. And then just check in with yourself. Take that little body scan. See if there's anything you want to adjust, starting at the crown of the head. Eyes relaxed, tongue relaxes, jaw relaxed, throat's relaxed. Take a full breath in. Ooh, feel that area opening around the heart center and the side of the rib cage, and then relax the shoulder blades, relax the belly, relax the pelvis. Perhaps you feel a nice opening in the left side of the hips or the IT band. And just giving way to gravity on an exhale to let the body take the shape. And then once again, going back to that nice, deep, long inhalation. And noticing the effects on the physical shape of the body. Directing the breath to wherever you want to cultivate a more open feeling of expansiveness. And then releasing the gravity on the exhale. We're going to see if we can find 5 more breaths here. So just keep that inhale nice and long. Breathing into that whole side body. And then the exhale, just releasing the gravity. One last big, deep, full breath here. And then gently release the hands to come back overhead. Gently release the ankle lock, walk the heels back over, and go ahead and find your way back into that fetal pose. We're just going to reset here. Walk everything side to side. And then we're going to scooch ourselves over to the right side of the mat. And this time we'll take the crescent over to the left. So from the right side of the mat, find your center line. Extend the fingertips from the toe tips and just wiggle it out for a moment. Take a nice big stretch. And then go ahead and walk the heels over as far as you can without taking the right hip off the ground. So right hip stays heavy, and then stack the right heel over the left ankle. And then go ahead and draw that right wrist over, taking your little crescent banana shape. Not taking the right shoulder off the mat, but keeping the right shoulder down and tucked in. And then just stacking the palms of the hands one inside the other. Taking any micro adjustments to get more comfortable here. And then letting your attention draw inward. On an X breath, releasing any thoughts that are no longer serving you. And then connecting to that highest aspect of your inner self as you draw your attention down towards the center of the mind's eye, relaxing the eyes physically to sink back into the skull, relaxing the tongue, releasing the jaw, relaxing the back of the throat. Taking a deep breath in, filling that area around the heart center and feeling that sense of expansiveness and possibility. The whole right side of the body, underneath the armpit, opening the rib cage. Letting the belly sink down on the exhale, connecting then to the pelvis. Perhaps directing your breath all the way down the legs. Noticing where the legs are touching the mat as you exhale and just sink into the shape. And then taking about 5 more big deep breaths here. Let yourself have one more big, deep, full breath. Inhaling, filling the whole right side of the body. And then exhaling, noticing where the body can just relax and sink into the mat. And then go ahead and unlock the ankles, walk the hands back up. Find your way back into your fetal pose, hug the knees in, rocking little side to side. We're going to take one more go with the balls on the pelvis. Let me just see if anything changed or shifted. So grab your balls. We're going to come to the same area, the shelf, the back shelf of the pelvis. You can start the balls symmetrical and roll side to side, or you can roll up and down. I'm just going to stay on this shelf. And just see if anything's shifted, if anything's changed. And then we're going to find one more spot. So maybe now you might be able to find a spot to settle into that felt not as juicy earlier. Perhaps you can find something that didn't feel quite available to relax into. And then we're going to just find that spot anywhere that feels good and open up here. So you could stay in your bridge prep with the knees up towards the ceiling and the feet on the mat. You tend to get a little bit more weight into the balls that way. Or if you extend your legs long on the mat, you tend to get a little bit more opening in the front of the pelvis that way. So just find which feels good for you. And then draw the shoulder blades together, finding our way almost to Shavasana here. Just taking a moment with some compression and some juicy spots in the back of the pelvis. And then just staying witness to watch and notice what's happening in the body. I'm going to take 5 more breaths like this. So just stay with noticing, allowing any micro movements that just naturally happen to happen. Go ahead and find just 1 or 2 more big, deep, full breaths here. See if you can release anything else to gravity. And if the legs are extended, you're going to start to bend the knees and bring the feet back onto the mat. Take another breath there. And then we'll go ahead and press into the feet, lift the pelvis, take the balls out, gently set the pelvis down. And one last time, coming into our fetal pose, rocking side to side. Depending how you feel here, you might want to open it up in child's pose. You might want to take some of those circles with the knees. If you have your bolster handy, you're going to bring it down underneath the thigh bones. Lift the knees a little. We're going to come into our Shavasana whenever you're ready. And then go ahead and tuck those shoulder blades down and under. Open the arms up so you have a little space in the armpits, palms shining towards the ceiling. And then this time we'll take our body scan starting at the feet. As we take this body scan, starting at the feet, I invite you to silently repeat to yourself. I relax my toes. I relax my sole of my foot. I relax the bones of my foot. I relax my ankles. My toes, my sole of my foot, my bones of my foot, my ankles are relaxed. I relax my calves. Relax my lower leg bones. I relax my knees. I relax my thighs. My calves, my leg bones, my knees, my thighs are relaxed. I relax my pelvis. I relax my buttocks. I relax my womb. My pelvis, my buttocks, and my womb are relaxed. I relax my belly. I relax my low back. I relax my middle back. I relax my rib cage. I relax my heart. My belly, my low back, my rib cage, my mid back, and my heart are relaxed. I relax my upper back. I relax my shoulders. I relax my collarbone. I relax my hands, my arms. My upper back, my shoulders, my collarbones, my hands, my lower arm, upper arms are relaxed. I relax my throat. I relax my jaw. I relax my tongue. I relax my face. My throat, my jaw, my tongue, and my face are relaxed. I relax my eyes. I relax my thoughts. I relax the skull bones. My eyes, my thoughts, and the bones of my skull are relaxed. I release the thoughts that are no longer serving me, and my mind relaxes. I release the thoughts that are no longer serving me, and my mind relaxes. The whole of my body and mind are relaxed. I am relaxed in my own wholeness. And if you're in a place where it's evening, if you're in a place where you want to just stay in this pose, please ignore me as I begin to invite you to awaken your body in case you're in a place where you need to get up and move and transition. Bring the state of full relaxation with you into your full consciousness. Begin to inhale a little more deeply. Again, just witnessing the effects of the breath on the physical sheath of the body. And as you increase the depth of your breath, perhaps you want to open the hands, the fingers. Perhaps you want to widen the toes and open the bottoms of the feet. Gently awakening from the fingertips and the toe tips. Opening the fingers, closing the fingers. Opening the toes, and then fisting the feet. And then gently letting that movement come into the wrists and ankles. Perhaps even bending the elbows or knees. When you feel ready, finding the center line again by bringing the hands up overhead, stretching out the fingertips wide and walking the feet together. Take a big breath in here, really stretching from toe tip to fingertip, and then bring the knees towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug around the legs. find your fetal pose here. Rock the hips a little side to side. We'll roll over onto our side from fetal pose. You can let the arm bones come up alongside the head and just roll over. Take a moment here with the eyes still closed as we transition from our Shavasana corpse pose through fetal pose into our post-yoga class rebirth. When you feel ready, press into whatever hand you're not leaning on. Come up to find a comfortable seat. And come up onto a block or your cushion if you wish. And just allow yourself a moment to integrate the awareness of what this full body relaxation feels like. From your seated pose, you can let the hands just gently rest on the thighs. Noticing the crown rising up towards the ceiling as you inhale, and as you exhale, noticing the pelvis rooted to earth. Bringing the hands together at the heart center, press the thumbs into the sternum and lower your chin towards the chest. Honoring yourself and your own efforts here. And then rising up the head, bringing the thumbs between the eyebrows, third eye center. Acknowledging all the yogis for thousands of years, bringing us the science of yoga to brighten our inner light. May we all begin to recognize each other by our shine. Namaste.